Yes, good evening. Let us start with the MCQs from pre-optics. तो कल हमने कुछ 15 तक MCQs शायद किए थे. So आज के लेक्चर में हम उसके आगे के MCQs कंटिन्यू करेंगे. Okay. So here is the screen. You can see already. Yes. Just read the question carefully. The focal length of objective and eyepiece of a microscope are 4 millimeter and 25 millimeter respectively. Okay. If the final image is obtained at infinity and the length of tube is 16 centimeter, then the magnifying power of microscope will be. Yes. See here, we have the basic formula for magnifying power of a microscope. Okay. So magnifying power of a microscope is given by small m into, or we can say small m o, matlab magnification produced by objective multiplied by the magnifying power of eyepiece, where magnification produced by objective is nothing but VO upon UO, right? And the magnification produced by objective can be written to be simply D upon UE, but this D upon UE can actually be expressed as 1 plus D D upon VE plus D upon FE, correct hai? And it has two extreme values. So magnifying power, the minimum value of magnifying power of a microscope is obtained to be simply VO upon UO into D upon FE. But this is obtained only when the image is formed at infinity. Okay. Final image must be formed at infinity. And at the same time, if suppose this final image is formed at distance of distinct vision, then the magnifying power becomes maximum, and the value of that is going to be actually VO upon U into 1 plus D upon FE, okay, which is obtained only when the final image is formed at distance of distinct vision. Okay, so this is all about the microscope, what we know here. Yes, but here in this case, it is clearly mentioned that the final image is formed at infinity. That means we have to use this formula here. ये वाला जो formula है, तो ये हमको use करना है यहाँ पे. Just because the final image is given to be formed at infinity. So what we require, VO, UO, D and FE. Out of that, D is already known. FE जो है can be found out, has to be found out by using the length of tube, length of microscope दिया हुआ है, और FE तो already दिया हुआ है. ये देखो ये FE है, eyepiece का focal length, और FO जो दिया हुआ है उसको यूज करके हम जरूर VO या UO निकाल सकेंगे. ठीक है, तो ये हमको निकाल के दिखाना है. Yes, so let us try. Okay, first of all, just let us write down all the given things. What are the given things? First of all, FO is given. Okay, FO is given to be 4 millimeter. Okay, then FE is actually given to be 25 millimeter. The length of telescope or microscope is already given, 16 centimeter. Okay, and since final image is formed at infinity, so यहाँ पे हमको और एक दिमाग यूज करना है. मतलब और एक बात यहाँ पे यूज करनी है कि जब फाइनल इमेज इंफिनिटी पे फॉर्म होता है तो उस केस में क्या होता है, UE जो है वो FE के बराबर बनता है. So you can just say that since final image is at infinity, you can just say that UE is same as FE. Okay, and FE is already given, to be 25 millimeter. So that means UE is also indirectly given to be 25 millimeter. Correct है? So UE कहो या FE कहो एक ही बात है, वो दोनों सेम ही है क्योंकि फाइनल इमेज इंफिनिटी पे फॉर्म होने जा रहा है. तो ऐसे केस में फिर यहाँ पे अभी देखो लेंथ ऑफ माइक्रोस्कोप कितना होता है. जैसा कि हम जानते हैं अगर ये माइक्रोस्कोप है इसका ये ऑब्जेक्टिव और ये उसका आईपीस, तो इस केस में द टोटल लेंथ ऑफ द माइक्रोस्कोप is actually going to be the sum of VO and UE. If you remember from the theory, then we can get that the length of microscope happens to be the sum of VO and UE. So we can just get that length is equal to VO plus UE, or in this case we can call it as FE also. But length is given to be 16 centimeter. But again, don't confuse between this 16 centimeter and here it is given to be in millimeter. So either we have to convert both of them in millimeter or both of them in centimeter. So it will be better if you just keep it in millimeter. So length of this telescope microscope will be actually 160 millimeter. 16 centimeter मतलब 160 millimeter हो गया वो, और that is equal to VO plus UE, which is actually only 25 millimeter. So that if we just take this 25 in that side, then we can get this 160 minus 25 is going to be VO actually. So VO is obtained to be, so how much it comes out to be, 125, 160 minus 25. Actually it comes out to be 135. Check. 135. But don't forget again, it is in millimeter, okay? In millimeter. If you want it in centimeter, we can just express it in terms of centimeter also, just by shifting one decimal point, one digit at the left side. So we can get it as a 13.5 centimeter, no problem. Okay. So VO is going to be 13.5 centimeter and FO is already given. See it here. This is the 4 millimeter. It is the value of FO. So using this VO and FO, you can find out UO, which is required here for finding the magnifying power. Okay, so in order to find out this UO here, let us use the lens equation. Lens equation use करेंगे for objective. Okay, तो objective के लिए lens equation use करना है हमको. So it tells us simply that 1 upon VO minus 1 upon UO is going to be 1 upon FO. Correct है? Yes. So if we just use it here, then we can be able to solve this. 1 upon VO. 1 upon VO. VO is going to be 13.5. तो पहले हमको ये डिसाइड करना है कि हमको सेंटीमीटर में रखना है या मिलीमीटर में रखना है. Let us keep it in centimeter. So it will be 1 upon 13.5 here, which is minus 1 upon UO. UO is तो हमको फाइंड करना है, and that is equal to 1 upon FO, where FO is again 4 millimeter. But again, don't forget to convert it into centimeter. So 4 millimeter means it will be 0.4 centimeter. Or it's okay if you just keep it in millimeter only. So here it will be 0.4. Okay. And then we can be just solve this. इसको UO 1 upon UO को इस तरफ लेके जाएंगे और ये 1 upon 0.4 को इस तरफ लेके आएंगे. तो नेक्स्ट स्टेप में देखो हमको क्या मिलेगा. So we can just be able to get this 1 upon 13.5 minus 1 upon 0.4, which is going to be equal to 1 upon UO simply. So that we can just get this 1 upon 13.5. Okay, just multiply it here. अगर क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे तो हमको मिलेगा 0.4 minus 13.5, and that is to be divided by 13.5 into 0.4. Okay, डायरेक्ट क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया हमने, and that is going to be 1 upon UO actually. So here it is going to be minus of 13.5 minus 0.4 कितना होता है, 13.1 बनता है, right? So this is 13.1 upon what is the product here, 13.5 into 0.4. So 13 fours are 52 or plus 2 extra. So it becomes 54. But the decimal point must be 2 digits at the left side. So 0.54 will be there. 0.54. And that is going to be equal to 1 upon UO. So actually UO must be 135 into 4. 5.4 आएगा यहाँ पे, sorry. Okay, here it will be 5.4 actually. Yes, and this UO then becomes actually one reciprocal of this. So it will be minus of 5.4 upon 13.1. 13.1 can be taken as 13 approximately. So finally UO is obtained to be actually minus of 5.4 upon 13. How much it comes out to be? 5.4 upon 13. If we just look for the table of 13, then 13 zeros are, and then 54 bacha. So 13 fours are 52, and then 2 carry 20 हो गया. 13 ones are, and then 7 बचा तो 70 हो गया. तो 13 fives are, and that is going to be in centimeter actually, which can also be expressed in millimeter. So it will be 4.15 millimeter. Okay, and then we'll be able to find out the magnifying power. Okay, so magnifying power in this case here will be VO upon UO into ये वाला फॉर्मूला वो हमको यूज करना है, तो it will be D upon FE directly. So we can just get this as VO, which is actually 13.5. UO is going to be 4.15 multiplied by D, which is 25, and FE, which is again 25 millimeter, but that is going to be 2.5 in centimeter. And then we can just be able to get this 25 को अगर कैंसिल कर देंगे तो यहाँ पे 10 बचा रहेगा, और इस 10 से इसको अगर मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे तो वो बनेगा 135 एक्चुअली. So this 135 divided by 4.15 comes out to be, इसको अगर 4 से भी अगर डिवाइड कर देंगे तो भी अप्रोक्सीमेटली कितना आएगा देखो, 33. हाँ 33 के आसपास आ जाएगा आंसर, 33.75 no doubt. But even we can just check by using the calculator. (135) divided by 4.15. Yes, 32 आ रहा है वो, but it's okay. एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन में कुछ मिस्टेक है, सो okay, we have put this UO incorrectly here. UO हमने एक्चुअली सेंटीमीटर वाला यूज करना चाहिए था. ओके, ये जो UO हमने यहाँ पे रिप्लेस किया ना, वो एक्चुअली सेंटीमीटर में लेना चाहिए था. That's correct. So it will be 0.4 approximately into 25 upon 2.5, which is kept as it is. It will be 10 actually. So ये 10 से इसको अगर मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया तो क्या बनेगा 135, that is to be divided by 0.4, which can be solved by using the calculator. One 35 divided by 4.4. Yes, 337.5. Yes. So it will be 337.5 approximately. Yes, so that you can just select this A as a correct option. No doubt. Okay, let us see the next question. Yes, question number 17. Just read it carefully. The focal lengths of objective and microscope and eyepiece of a microscope are 1.6 and 2.5 centimeter respectively. The distance between the two lenses is 21.7 centimeter here. If the final image is formed at infinity, then the distance between the object and the objective lens is, that means we want to find out UO here, right? UO हमको ढूंढ के निकालना है. And once again the same situation is there. See here, focal length of objective मतलब FO दिया हुआ है 1.6 centimeter. Focal length of eyepiece दिया हुआ है FE, which is given to be 2.5 centimeter. And the distance between two lenses, मतलब ये क्या हो गया actually? This is going to be the length of microscope here, which is given to be 21.7 centimeter here in this case. And since the final image is formed at infinity, so final image form infinity जब form होता है, तो इसका मतलब यहाँ पे UE is going to be same as FE as in the previous case. And hence we can just get that length of the microscope actually happens to be VO plus UE. But since UE in this case is same as FE, so we can just write it as L is equal to VO plus FE here. And if we just put all the values here, then we can get this 21.7 is equal to VO plus FE, which is 25 actually. And if we just take in that side, no, sorry, FE is going to be 2.5 actually. Okay, so if you just take this in this side, then we can get this 21.7 minus 2.5, which is going to be VO. So finally VO is obtained as, देखो 21 में से 2.5 गया कि तो कितना होता है 21.5 में से सॉरी 21.7 में से, तो यहाँ पे बचेगा 2 और 21 में से 2 गया 19, so it becomes 19.2. okay, and that is again going to be centimeter. Yes, so this is actually going to be the VO value. Okay, once you get VO, we can just make use of lens equation now. Using the lens equation on ऑब्जेक्टिव, ओके, ऑब्जेक्टिव के लिए हम लेंस इक्वेशन यूज करेंगे, जिससे हमको मिलेगा 1/VO minus 1/UO is equal to 1/FO. So that you can just get this 1/VO, where VO is going to be 19.2 minus 1/UO. So UO is going to be found out, and this is going to be equal to 1/FO, where FO is actually 1.6, right? So if we just shuffle the terms, we'll get this as 1/19.2 minus 1/1.6 is going to be 1/UO. So that we can just अभी इसमें इस पूरे इक्वेशन को अगर हम 1/10 से मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं तो देखो क्या होगा, this whole thing multiplied by 1/10 and this also multiplied by 1/10, so that we can just get this 1/192 minus 1/16 is equal to 1/10u naught. So that taking LCM will be very easy in this case here. तो यहाँ पे 16 के टेबल में 192 है और कितने नंबर पे, 12 नंबर पे 16 into 12 is 192. Just check. So we can just multiply and divide by 12 here in the both numerator and denominator, so that we can just have this 1 minus 12 left here in the numerator, that is to be divided by 192 kept as it is here in the denominator, and that is actually going to be 1/10 times of UO. okay, so that this becomes minus 11 upon 192, that is going to be 1/10 UO, so that UO actually becomes equal to minus of, here it is going to be, ये UO इस तरफ गया तो इस तरफ आएगा minus of 192 upon 11 into 10. Yes, so UO actually becomes, इसको 10 से अगर डिवाइड करेंगे तो वो 19.2 बन जाएगा, and that is to be divided by 11. So you can just reduce it and get the final answer. 11 ones are point यहाँ पे आ गया, 8 बचा तो 82 हो गया, 11 sevens are 77, तो 5 बचा 50 हो गया, 4. So approximately we can just say this will be 1.75 centimeter will be actually the value of UO, which is to be found out here. That is the distance between the object and objective lens, that is UO here. Okay, so this is all about the, yes, option D is correct one. Yes, correct, Kashish. So this is all about the 17th question. We have done it here. Let us see the next question. Just read the question carefully. Simple microscope consists of a concave lens of power -10 diopter and a convex lens of power 20 diopter, which is in contact. If the image is formed at infinity, then what is the magnifying power? Okay, so magnifying power is to be found out, and simple microscope consists of two lenses which are combined together. So when the two lenses are combined together, इस तरह से जब दो लेंस आपस में टच करके रखे जाते हैं तो हमको पता है उनके पावर्स जो है तो वो एक्चुअली ऐड हो जाते हैं. So we can just say that the total power, effective power of the combination will actually be -10 plus 20, so that it becomes +10 here, +10 diopter. And so because of that, the focal length of this simple microscope can be found out to be simply 1 upon power, which is going to be in 1 upon 10. That means it is going to be 0.1, and that is going to be in meter. That means focal length of this lens is going to be 10 centimeter actually. Correct है? तो focal length हमको मिल गया simple microscope का. अभी अगर image infinity पे form होता है, देखो ठीक से, image अगर infinity पे form होगा तो उस केस में मैग्नीफाइंग पावर कितना मिलेगा? मैग्नीफाइंग पावर के लिए हमारे पास दो फॉर्मूले हैं. एक जब इमेज इंफिनिटी पे फॉर्म होता है, और जब एक इमेज जब डिस्टेंस ऑफ डिस्टिंक्ट विजन पे फॉर्म होता है. तो उसमें से सिंपल माइक्रोस्कोप का मैग्नीफाइंग पावर का फॉर्मूला जब इमेज इंफिनिटी पे फॉर्म होता है तो वो है सिंपली d अपॉन f. सिंपली दैट्स इट. एंड d is given to be 25 centimeter here, which is to be divided by the f, which is 10 centimeter in this case. So that we can just get this as 2.5 as a final value of magnifying power, which is already there in the option number A here in this way. Yes, very good again, Atharva. Yes, let us see the next question now. Okay, so read this question carefully. The compound microscope has an objective and eyepiece as thin lenses of focal lengths 1 centimeter and 5 centimeter respectively. Okay, compound microscope once again, and the focal length of eyepiece and objective are given. So objective का focal length कितना दिया हुआ है? 1 centimeter. Okay, and the focal length of eyepiece is actually given to be 5 centimeter here. Okay, so the distance between objective and eyepiece is 20 centimeter. That means this is the length of the microscope, which is given to be 20 centimeter here. Okay, the distance at which the object must be placed in front of the objective if the final image is located at 25 centimeter from the eyepiece. Okay, the final image is going to be at 25 centimeter from the eyepiece. That means the final image is formed at distance of distinct vision. So that means, so what is the distance of final image from the eyepiece is 25 centimeter. So in this case, we'll have to find out the UE also. यहाँ पे हमको UE find करना पड़ेगा properly. Okay. So देखो, क्योंकि जो है टेलीस्कोप माइक्रोस्कोप का एक रफ डायग्राम अगर हम यहाँ पे ड्रॉ करते हैं तो it will look like this. This is the microscope suppose, and this is the objective, and this is going to be the eyepiece. Okay, and this is the distance of object here, and object का एक जो image form होता है, first image जो form होता है तो वो यहाँ पे form होगा suppose, and this will act as a object for the eyepiece. So we can just say that this is going to be the object whose image is formed by this objective, at this point somewhere here. ये बन गया ऑब्जेक्टिव का ऑब्जेक्ट का इमेज. ओके, एंड इसका जो फाइनल इमेज है तो वो फॉर्म होने जा रहा है और पीछे. You can just continue this line. So this can be the final image. ओके, सो इन दिस केस ये एक रफ डायग्राम है अपना माइक्रोस्कोप का, कंपाउंड माइक्रोस्कोप का। ओके, सो अभी इसमें ये जो फाइनल इमेज है, तो उसका जो डिस्टेंस होता है आई पीस से, तो उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, बीई बोलते हैं। ओके, बीई, जो कि 25 सेंटीमीटर दिया हुआ है। दिस इज एक्चुअली गोइंग टू बी 25 सेंटीमीटर हियर। एंड यूई जो है, यूई मतलब ऑब्जेक्ट का जो डिस्टेंस होता है आई पीस से, तो वो यहाँ पे हमको पता नहीं है। और ये जो वीओ होता है, तो वीओ इज गोइंग टू बी द distance of that image from the objective, and this is actually UO. ओके, तो अभी इसमें देखो, सबसे पहले हम क्या करेंगे, VE के लिए टारगेट करेंगे। VE कैसे फाइंड करना है, तो UE हम सॉरी VE हमको पता है, UE हमको फाइंड करना है पहले। UE क्यों चाहिए, क्योंकि लेंथ ऑफ टेलीस्कोप के लिए वो लगता है, क्योंकि लेंथ ऑफ टेलीस्कोप इज ऑलरेडी नोन 20 सेंटीमीटर। So once we find out UE from VE, then and only we can just find out this VO here. And then once we find out VO, then we will be able to find out this UO in this case, which is to be found out here. Okay, the distance at which the object must be placed in front of objective. मतलब ये हमको क्या निकालना है, UO निकालना है, UO। तो हमारा स्ट्रेटेजी क्या होगा, सबसे पहले हमको VE यूज करके UE निकालना है, UE यूज करके VO निकालना है, और उसके बाद फिर VO मिलने वाला है। ओके, तो सबसे पहले हम यूज करेंगे लेंस इक्वेशन। सो लेट अस यूज द लेंस इक्वेशन। बट दैट इज फॉर आईपीस, नॉट फॉर ऑब्जेक्टिव। ओके, फॉर आईपीस। तो या आई लेंस के लिए लेंस इक्वेशन यूज करो, क्या बनता है वो, 1/BE माइनस 1/UE। ओके, तो 1/BE माइनस 1/UE is equal to 1/FE. This is the lens equation applied for eyepiece. Okay. Okay. So 1/BE. What is BE here? It is given to be 25 centimeter minus 1/UE. So UE is actually to be found out, and that is equal to 1/FE, where FE is 5 centimeter. Okay, and that is also positive. Okay, so just solve this further, and we can get this. But wait here. ये VE जो है ना, VE is going to be negative in this case. Why? Because it's at the left side. Okay, ये जो VE होता है यहाँ पे eyepiece के लिए UE as well as VE both are at the left side, and that's why both are going to be negative, and that's why a minus sign has to be put in front of this 25 here. Okay, and then we'll be get a correct answer. So yeah, 1/UE transfer on that side, so that we get this minus 1/25 minus 1/5, which actually happens to be 1/UE here, and then we'll be able to get this as, तो अब यहाँ पे इसको 5 से अगर मल्टीप्लाई डिवाइड कर दो तो क्या होगा, लेकर से इंटू 5, तो यहाँ पे आएगा -1 -5, मतलब -6 हो गया वो, and that is to be divided by 25 as it is. That is going to be 1/UE actually. That means UE is going to be minus of 25/6 centimeter, right? So UE तो हमको मिल गया, चलो ठीक है। Now using the length of telescope microscope, ये जो length of microscope दिया हुआ है 20 centimeter, which is going to be the sum of UE and VO, correct है? So length of microscope is always equal to VO plus UE. So length of telescope microscope is given to be 20, VO is to be found out, and UE is actually obtained to be this in magnitude. It is going to be minus of 6 4s are 24 and 6 1s are and 6 are approximately 4.16 we can say. So this is 4.16. Don't take this minus sign here because this length of microscope is the sum of magnitudes of VO and UE. यहाँ पे sign convention नहीं use करना है. Okay. So VO can be written to be simply equal to the difference of this 20 and 4.16, right? So that in the next step we can be able to get this VO here. So VO कितना मिल रहा है हमको? देखो it says it will be 15.84, right? Centimeter. Yes, VO is obtained. Now using this VO and lens equation will on objective, we can just be able to find out this. Yes, very good, Athar. Okay, so VO और lens equation use करके हम UO निकाल के दिखाएंगे. So now apply the lens equation once again. For objective, okay, objective के लिए हमको lens equation use करना है जो बनता है 1/VO minus 1/UO is equal to 1/FO. So that we can just get this 1/VO, which is 15.84, and that is also positive just because here it in the diagram में देखो लिख से ये जो है VO is going to be positive in this case, UO is going to be negative, वो तो आ जाएगा आराम से. Minus 1/UO is going to be 1/FO, where FO is actually 1 centimeter. We have to put it here. So this is 1. And then we can just shuffle the terms and get this as 1/15.84 minus 1/1, that is equal to 1/UO. So that this, when cross multiplied, gives 1 minus 15.84 upon 15.84 only. That is equal to 1/UO actually. So that we can just get this UO to be the reciprocal of this. तो इसका reciprocal क्या बनेगा? 15.84 ऊपर आ जाएगा और 15.84 minus 1 मतलब ये 14.84 बन जाएगा, and that is also minus. It will appear in the denominator here, and then we can get this as minus of, just remove the point and get this as 1584 upon 1484. इन दोनों को just reduce करने के लिए try करो. VO is okay. अगर LCM नहीं निकाला यहाँ पे तो फिर क्या होगा चेक करेंगे. देखो, just forget about this 4.16 and just put it as it is here. इस 4.16 के बदले अगर हम डायरेक्ट अगर 25/6 अगर डाल देंगे तो देखो क्या मिलेगा. So we can just put it as 25/6 as it is here, and because of that it will be 20 minus 25/6 here, which will actually be, yes, 26 are 120 minus 25, which happens to be actually 95/6, right? Very good. So this is 95/6. Okay, that means we have to see the options also. हमको options की तरफ भी देखते रहना होता है, क्योंकि जबकि options जो है वो अगर fraction में दिए हुए सभी, ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब हमको fraction में ही रखना है. Now don't go into the decimals. So here this VO is actually obtained to be 95/6. and then we can just put it here in place of VO here. यहाँ पे भी अगर हम इस 15.84 को हटा के अगर 95.6 डाल देंगे और फिर उसको सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे तो इट विल बी बेटर. Okay, so you can just put this 95/6 here. It will become 6/95 in the next step. So that it becomes 6 minus 95/95 as it is, which will actually be 89. So it will be minus 89 upon, so U can be going to be 95/89, which is already there in this option number C here. Okay, which will be the correct one. Yes, correct. Okay, so this is the next question. Yes, okay, just read this question carefully. The magnifying power of a telescope is 9. When it is adjusted for parallel rays, the distance between the objective and eyepiece is found to be 20 centimeter. Then the focal length of lenses are. Okay, so look, magnifying power of telescope is 9. M is equal to 9. And the length, the distance between objective and eyepiece is found to be 20 centimeter. That means the length of telescope here is going to be 20 centimeter, right? So we know that this magnifying power of a telescope is obtained to be FO upon FE, correct? है? FO upon FE का value M9 दिया हुआ है. That means FO upon FE is going to be 9. And at the same time, L is equal to क्या होता है? L actually happens to be FO plus FE in case of telescope. याद रखो. तो इसलिए यहाँ पे जो FO plus FE का जो वैल्यू है तो वो हमको actually 20 मिल रहा है. 20. So if you use it here, this means that FO is actually going to be 9 times of FE, right? If you just put this value here, then we can just get this as 9 times of FE plus single FE happens to be actually 20, correct? Which means अभी 9 FE plus FE कितना बनता है? 10 FE बनता है. So here we can get that 10 FE is going to be 20, means F should be equal to 20 upon 10, which is actually going to be 2 here. Once we get FE, there is no difficulty in finding FO because it is going to be 9 times of FE, or just have this FO plus FE is equal to 20. तो दोनों में से कुछ भी अगर यूज करो तभी भी हमको सेम ही वैल्यू मिलने वाला है FO का, that is 18 centimeter. Okay, so the focal lengths of both of these objective and eyepiece are going to be 18 and 2 centimeter respectively, which is going to be there in the option number A here. Okay, actually this is very simple. टेलीस्कोप के क्वेश्चंस थोड़ा सिंपल ही होते हुआ करते हैं क्योंकि उसमें फॉर्मूला भी उतना सिंपल है. Okay, so that's all. We have done out about 20 questions from this section. So let us see the next questions next time. और 5-6 क्वेश्चंस और भी बाकी है, वो हम नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में कवर कर देंगे. And then this chapter will end, so that we can just start with the next chapter, that is about I think laws of motion only, na? Yes, laws of motion. और motion in plane हो गया क्या? Just I will let you know. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you all of you.